Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It is Fusion Gaming 2, and today we're doing another NFL video, but this time it is NFL Quarterbacks Tournament. And here's the catch: whoever wins this game, for me, for Discord, for at least one day, I will have to change my username to, instead of Michigan State Lover, it will be like, say, like Detroit Lions Lover or something like that. That's what it will be, and I will have to change the logo for a day to the team that won. All right, guys. So we got Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Drake May, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph, Matthew Stafford, Michael Penix Jr., Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, Tagovailoa Tua, Trevor Lawrence, and Will Levis. Alright guys, let's get this video started. I know these both JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold have the same jersey, but I couldn't find Sam Darnold with his current team now, which is now the Seattle Seahawks. Alright, let's get started. So, Anthony Richardson votes for Justin Fields. Baker Mayfield votes for CJ Stroud. Bo Nix votes for Caleb Williams. Brock Purdy votes for Justin Fields. Bryce Young votes for Bo Nix. CJ Stroud votes for Justin Fields. Caleb Williams votes for CJ Stroud. Dak Prescott votes for Bo Nix. Derek Carr votes for Justin Fields. Deshaun Watson votes for CJ Stroud. Drake May votes for Justin Fields. Geno Smith votes for Caleb Williams. JJ McCarthy votes for CJ Stroud. Jalen Hurts votes for Justin Fields. Jared Goff votes for Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels votes for Caleb Williams. Joe Burrow votes for Caleb Williams. Jordan Love votes for Caleb Williams. Josh Allen votes for Bo Nix. Justin Fields votes for Bo Nix. Justin Herbert votes for Caleb Williams. Kyler Murray votes for Jared Goff. What? Lamar Jackson votes for CJ Stroud. Mason Rudolph votes for CJ Stroud. Matthew Stafford votes for Caleb Williams. Michael Penix Jr. votes for CJ Stroud. Patrick Mahomes votes for Justin Fields. Russell Wilson votes for Caleb Williams. Sam Darnold votes for Justin Fields. Tagovailoa Tua votes for CJ Stroud. Trevor Lawrence votes for Bo Nix. And Will Levis votes for Caleb Williams. And the first one out is Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is fatally electrocuted. And Caleb Williams is from the Chicago Bears. So it looks like I will not be changing my Discord logo to the Chicago Bears. Alright, let's get to the next vote. Anthony Richardson votes for Patrick Mahomes. Baker Mayfield votes for Josh Allen. Bo Nix votes for Jaden Daniels. Brock Purdy votes for Kyler Murray. Bryce Young votes for Jaden Daniels. CJ Stroud votes for Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott votes for Josh Allen. Derek Carr votes for Josh Allen. Deshaun Watson votes for Josh Allen. Drake May votes for Josh Allen. Geno Smith votes for Patrick Mahomes. JJ McCarthy votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts votes for Josh Allen. Jared Goff votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jaden Daniels votes for Josh Allen. Joe Burrow votes for Jaden Daniels. Jordan Love votes for Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen votes for Patrick Mahomes. Justin Fields votes for Jaden Daniels. Justin Herbert votes for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray votes for Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson votes for Jaden Daniels. Mason Rudolph votes for Patrick Mahomes. Matthew Stafford votes for Kyler Murray. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes votes for Josh Allen. Russell Wilson votes for Josh Allen. Sam Darnold votes for Jaden Daniels. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Kyler Murray. Trevor Lawrence votes for Patrick Mahomes. And Will Levis votes for Patrick Mahomes. And the next player eliminated quarterback is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is fatally electrocuted. And Josh Allen is from the Buffalo Bills. So looks like I am not going to change my logo for Discord or like anything from Discord to the Buffalo Bills. Let's get to the next vote. Anthony Richardson votes for Bo Nix. Baker Mayfield votes for Brock Purdy. Bo Nix votes for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy votes for Bo Nix. Bryce Young votes for Geno Smith. CJ Stroud votes for Brock Purdy. Dak Prescott votes for Will Levis. Derek Carr votes for Dak Prescott. Deshaun Watson votes for Bo Nix. Drake May votes for Geno Smith. Geno Smith votes for Brock Purdy. JJ McCarthy votes for Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts votes for Brock Purdy. Jared Goff votes for Dak Prescott. Jaden Daniels votes for Brock Purdy. Joe Burrow votes for Bo Nix. Jordan Love votes for Bo Nix. Justin Fields votes for Bo Nix. Justin Herbert votes for Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray votes for Will Levis. Lamar Jackson votes for Geno Smith. Mason Rudolph votes for Geno Smith. Matthew Stafford votes for Will Levis. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Brock Purdy. Patrick Mahomes votes for Will Levis. Russell Wilson votes for Brock Purdy. Sam Darnold votes for Bo Nix. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Will Levis. Trevor Lawrence votes for Bo Nix. And Will Levis votes for Brock Purdy. And the next quarterback out is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is fatally electrocuted. And Brock Purdy is from the San Francisco 49ers. So it looks like the 49ers is not going to get the Discord thing for today. Let's get to the next vote. Anthony Richardson votes for Bo Nix. Baker Mayfield votes for Sam Darnold. Bo Nix votes for Sam Darnold. Bryce Young votes for Bo Nix. CJ Stroud votes for Bryce Young. Dak Prescott votes for Bo Nix. Derek Carr votes for Bo Nix. Deshaun Watson votes for Bryce Young. Drake May votes for Bryce Young. Geno Smith votes for Bryce Young. JJ McCarthy votes for Bryce Young. Jalen Hurts votes for Sam Darnold. Jared Goff votes for Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels votes for Bryce Young. Joe Burrow votes for Bryce Young. Jordan Love votes for Bo Nix. Justin Fields votes for Bryce Young. Justin Herbert votes for Sam Darnold. Kyler Murray votes for Bo Nix. Lamar Jackson votes for Bo Nix. Mason Rudolph votes for Sam Darnold. Matthew Stafford votes for Sam Darnold. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Sam Darnold. Patrick Mahomes votes for Sam Darnold. Russell Wilson votes for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold votes for Bryce Young. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence votes for Bo Nix. And Will Levis votes for Bryce Young. And the next quarterback out is... there's a light shines over Bryce Young and Sam Darnold. So there is a revote. Anthony Richardson votes for Bryce Young. Baker Mayfield votes for Sam Darnold. Bo Nix votes for Bryce Young. Bryce Young votes for Sam Darnold. CJ Stroud votes for Bryce Young. Dak Prescott votes for Sam Darnold. Derek Carr votes for Bryce Young. Deshaun Watson votes for Bryce Young. Drake May votes for Bryce Young. Geno Smith votes for Sam Darnold. JJ McCarthy votes for Bryce Young. Jalen Hurts votes for Sam Darnold. Jared Goff votes for Sam Darnold. Jaden Daniels votes for Sam Darnold. Joe Burrow votes for Sam Darnold. Jordan Love votes for Sam Darnold. Justin Fields votes for Bryce Young. Justin Herbert votes for Sam Darnold. Kyler Murray votes for Sam Darnold. Lamar Jackson votes for Bryce Young. Mason Rudolph votes for Bryce Young. Matthew Stafford votes for Sam Darnold. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Bryce Young. Patrick Mahomes votes for Sam Darnold. Russell Wilson votes for Bryce Young. Sam Darnold votes for Bryce Young. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence votes for Sam Darnold. And Will Levis votes for Bryce Young. Looks like Sam Darnold is fatally electrocuted. And Sam Darnold is from the Seattle Seahawks. That means there will be no Seattle Seahawks on my Discord today. Let's skip to the next vote. Bo Nix and Joe Burrow step out of their circles as a sacrifice. So Bo Nix is from the Denver Broncos, and Joe Burrow is from the Cincinnati Bengals. So that means I don't get to use Denver Broncos or Cincinnati Bengals for my profile picture and name for Discord. Alright. So Bo Nix and Joe Burrow are fatally electrocuted. So next up, Anthony Richardson votes for Russell Wilson. Baker Mayfield votes for Russell Wilson. Bryce Young votes for Russell Wilson. CJ Stroud votes for Russell Wilson. Dak Prescott votes for Will Levis. Derek Carr votes for Will Levis. Deshaun Watson votes for Russell Wilson. Drake May votes for Russell Wilson. Geno Smith votes for Will Levis. JJ McCarthy votes for Will Levis. Jalen Hurts votes for Will Levis. Jared Goff votes for Will Levis. Jaden Daniels votes for Will Levis. Jordan Love votes for Will Levis. Justin Fields votes for Russell Wilson. Justin Herbert votes for Russell Wilson. Kyler Murray votes for Russell Wilson. Lamar Jackson votes for Will Levis. Mason Rudolph votes for Will Levis. Matthew Stafford votes for Will Levis. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Will Levis. Patrick Mahomes votes for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson votes for Will Levis. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Russell Wilson. Trevor Lawrence votes for Russell Wilson. And Will Levis votes for Russell Wilson. And the next quarterback eliminated is... Oh, a light shines over Russell Wilson and Will Levis. There is a revote. Anthony Richardson votes for Russell Wilson. Baker Mayfield votes for Russell Wilson. Bryce Young votes for Will Levis. CJ Stroud votes for Russell Wilson. Dak Prescott votes for Will Levis. Derek Carr votes for Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson votes for Will Levis. Drake May votes for Russell Wilson. Geno Smith votes for Will Levis. JJ McCarthy votes for Will Levis. Jalen Hurts votes for Russell Wilson. Jared Goff votes for Will Levis. Jaden Daniels votes for Will Levis. Jordan Love votes for Russell Wilson. Justin Fields votes for Russell Wilson. Justin Herbert votes for Will Levis. Kyler Murray votes for Russell Wilson. Lamar Jackson votes for Will Levis. Mason Rudolph votes for Russell Wilson. Matthew Stafford votes for Will Levis. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Will Levis. Patrick Mahomes votes for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson votes for Will Levis. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Russell Wilson. Trevor Lawrence votes for Russell Wilson. And Will Levis votes for Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson is fatally electrocuted. And Russell Wilson is from the New York Giants. So that means I don't use any New York Giants stuff for Discord for this day. So let's skip to the next vote. Anthony Richardson votes for Patrick Mahomes. Baker Mayfield votes for Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young votes for Tagovailoa Tua. CJ Stroud votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Dak Prescott votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Derek Carr votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Deshaun Watson votes for Anthony Richardson. Drake May votes for Patrick Mahomes. Geno Smith votes for Tagovailoa Tua. JJ McCarthy votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Jared Goff votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Jaden Daniels votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Love votes for Anthony Richardson. Justin Fields votes for Anthony Richardson. Justin Herbert votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Kyler Murray votes for Anthony Richardson. Lamar Jackson votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Mason Rudolph votes for Anthony Richardson. Matthew Stafford votes for Patrick Mahomes. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Tagovailoa Tua. Patrick Mahomes votes for Anthony Richardson. Tagovailoa Tua votes for Anthony Richardson. Trevor Lawrence votes for Patrick Mahomes. And Will Levis votes for Patrick Mahomes. Next quarterback out is Tagovailoa Tua is fatally electrocuted. And Tagovailoa Tua is from the Miami Dolphins. So no Miami Dolphins on my Discord. Next. Anthony Richardson votes for Kyler Murray. Baker Mayfield votes for Mason Rudolph. Bryce Young votes for Dak Prescott. CJ Stroud votes for Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott votes for Will Levis. Derek Carr votes for Dak Prescott. Deshaun Watson votes for Will Levis. Drake May votes for Kyler Murray. Geno Smith votes for Will Levis. JJ McCarthy votes for Will Levis. Jalen Hurts votes for Dak Prescott. Jared Goff votes for Kyler Murray. Jaden Daniels votes for Dak Prescott. Jordan Love votes for Dak Prescott. Justin Fields votes for Kyler Murray. Justin Herbert votes for Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray votes for Will Levis. Lamar Jackson votes for Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph votes for Kyler Murray. Matthew Stafford votes for Will Levis. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Mason Rudolph. Patrick Mahomes votes for Kyler Murray. Trevor Lawrence votes for Dak Prescott. And Will Levis votes for Dak Prescott. So the next quarterback eliminated is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is fatally electrocuted. And Dak Prescott is from the Dallas Cowboys. So no Dallas Cowboys stuff on my Discord. Let's view the remaining survivors. So we got Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Drake May, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph, Matthew Stafford, Michael Penix Jr., Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, and Will Levis. Oh, no way! Jaden Daniels and Kyler Murray step out of their circles as a sacrifice. Jaden Daniels is from Washington Commanders, and Kyler Murray is from the Arizona Cardinals. So no Washington Commanders or Arizona Cardinals on my Discord. Yes, no Washington Commanders. Let's go. So Jaden Daniels and Kyler Murray are fatally electrocuted. Oh my gosh. Anthony Richardson votes for Matthew Stafford. Baker Mayfield votes for CJ Stroud. Bryce Young votes for Matthew Stafford. CJ Stroud votes for Matthew Stafford. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Matthew Stafford. Drake May votes for CJ Stroud. Geno Smith votes for Matthew Stafford. JJ McCarthy votes for CJ Stroud. Jalen Hurts votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jared Goff votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jordan Love votes for CJ Stroud. Justin Fields votes for CJ Stroud. Justin Herbert votes for Matthew Stafford. Lamar Jackson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Mason Rudolph votes for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford votes for CJ Stroud. Michael Penix Jr. votes for CJ Stroud. Patrick Mahomes votes for CJ Stroud. Trevor Lawrence votes for Michael Penix Jr. And Will Levis votes for Matthew Stafford. And the next quarterback eliminated is... Oh, a light shines over CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford. There is a revote. So Anthony Richardson votes for CJ Stroud. Baker Mayfield votes for CJ Stroud. Bryce Young votes for CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud votes for Matthew Stafford. Derek Carr votes for CJ Stroud. Deshaun Watson votes for Matthew Stafford. Drake May votes for Matthew Stafford. Geno Smith votes for Matthew Stafford. JJ McCarthy votes for Matthew Stafford. Jalen Hurts votes for CJ Stroud. Jared Goff votes for Matthew Stafford. Jordan Love votes for Matthew Stafford. Justin Fields votes for Matthew Stafford. Justin Herbert votes for Matthew Stafford. Lamar Jackson votes for CJ Stroud. Mason Rudolph votes for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford votes for CJ Stroud. Michael Penix Jr. votes for CJ Stroud. Patrick Mahomes votes for CJ Stroud. Trevor Lawrence votes for Matthew Stafford. And Will Levis votes for Matthew Stafford. So Matthew Stafford is fatally electrocuted. And Matthew Stafford is from the Los Angeles Rams. So no Los Angeles Rams on my Discord. Let's see who's next. Anthony Richardson votes for Trevor Lawrence. Baker Mayfield votes for Justin Fields. Bryce Young votes for Trevor Lawrence. CJ Stroud votes for Trevor Lawrence. Derek Carr votes for Justin Fields. Deshaun Watson votes for Trevor Lawrence. Drake May votes for Justin Fields. Geno Smith votes for Trevor Lawrence. JJ McCarthy votes for Trevor Lawrence. Jalen Hurts votes for Justin Fields. Jared Goff votes for Trevor Lawrence. Jordan Love votes for Justin Fields. Justin Fields votes for Trevor Lawrence. Justin Herbert votes for Trevor Lawrence. Lamar Jackson votes for Trevor Lawrence. Mason Rudolph votes for Trevor Lawrence. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Trevor Lawrence. Patrick Mahomes votes for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence votes for Justin Fields. And Will Levis votes for Justin Fields. And the next quarterback out is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is fatally electrocuted. And Trevor Lawrence is from Jacksonville Jaguars. So no Jacksonville Jaguars on my Discord. Let's see who the survivors are. So we got Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Drake May, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph, Michael Penix Jr., Patrick Mahomes, and Will Levis. Anthony Richardson votes for Lamar Jackson. Baker Mayfield votes for Mason Rudolph. Bryce Young votes for Will Levis. CJ Stroud votes for Lamar Jackson. Derek Carr votes for Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson votes for Lamar Jackson. Drake May votes for Mason Rudolph. Geno Smith votes for Lamar Jackson. JJ McCarthy votes for Mason Rudolph. Jalen Hurts votes for Will Levis. Jared Goff votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jordan Love votes for Will Levis. Justin Fields votes for Will Levis. Justin Herbert votes for Mason Rudolph. Lamar Jackson votes for Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph votes for Lamar Jackson. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Mason Rudolph. Patrick Mahomes votes for Will Levis. And Will Levis votes for Michael Penix Jr. And the next quarterback eliminated is... Oh, there's a light shines over Lamar Jackson and Mason Rudolph. There is a revote. Anthony Richardson votes for Lamar Jackson. Baker Mayfield votes for Lamar Jackson. Bryce Young votes for Lamar Jackson. CJ Stroud votes for Mason Rudolph. Derek Carr votes for Mason Rudolph. Deshaun Watson votes for Lamar Jackson. Drake May votes for Lamar Jackson. Geno Smith votes for Mason Rudolph. JJ McCarthy votes for Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts votes for Mason Rudolph. Jared Goff votes for Lamar Jackson. Jordan Love votes for Lamar Jackson. Justin Fields votes for Lamar Jackson. Justin Herbert votes for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson votes for Mason Rudolph. And Mason Rudolph votes for Lamar Jackson. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes votes for Mason Rudolph. And Will Levis votes for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is fatally electrocuted. And Lamar Jackson is from the Baltimore Ravens. So there will be no more Baltimore Ravens in my Discord. Not in this video. So Anthony Richardson votes for JJ McCarthy. Baker Mayfield votes for Will Levis. Bryce Young votes for Michael Penix Jr. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Derek Carr votes for Will Levis. Deshaun Watson votes for Will Levis. Drake May votes for Bryce Young. Geno Smith votes for JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy votes for Bryce Young. Jalen Hurts votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jared Goff votes for Will Levis. Jordan Love votes for Bryce Young. Justin Fields votes for Will Levis. Justin Herbert votes for JJ McCarthy. Mason Rudolph votes for JJ McCarthy. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Will Levis. Patrick Mahomes votes for Will Levis. And Will Levis votes for Bryce Young. And the next quarterback eliminated is Will Levis. Will Levis is fatally electrocuted. And Will Levis is from... Will Levis is from the Tennessee Titans. So there will be no Tennessee Titans in my Discord. So Anthony Richardson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Baker Mayfield votes for Jalen Hurts. Bryce Young votes for Jalen Hurts. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Jalen Hurts. Drake May votes for Michael Penix Jr. Geno Smith votes for Jalen Hurts. JJ McCarthy votes for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jared Goff votes for Jalen Hurts. Jordan Love votes for Michael Penix Jr. Justin Fields votes for Jalen Hurts. Justin Herbert votes for Michael Penix Jr. Mason Rudolph votes for Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Jalen Hurts. And Patrick Mahomes votes for Jalen Hurts. And the next quarterback out is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is fatally electrocuted. Jalen Hurts is from the Philadelphia Eagles, so no Philadelphia Eagles in my Discord. Oh no, Anthony Richardson votes for Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield votes for Jared Goff. Bryce Young votes for Deshaun Watson. CJ Stroud votes for Justin Fields. Derek Carr votes for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson votes for Justin Fields. Drake May votes for Justin Fields. Geno Smith votes for Justin Fields. J.J. McCarthy votes for Jared Goff. Jared Goff votes for Deshaun Watson. Jordan Love votes for Jared Goff. Justin Fields votes for Jared Goff. Justin Herbert votes for Justin Fields. Mason Rudolph votes for Jared Goff. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Justin Fields. And Patrick Mahomes votes for Justin Fields. And the next quarterback voted out is Justin Fields. Justin Fields is fatally electrocuted. And Justin Fields is from the New York Jets. So no New York Jets in my Discord. Let's see who the remaining survivors are. Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, Drake May, Geno Smith, J.J. McCarthy, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Mason Rudolph, Michael Penix Jr., and Patrick Mahomes. Anthony Richardson votes for Jordan Love. Baker Mayfield votes for Michael Penix Jr. Bryce Young votes for Patrick Mahomes. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Derek Carr votes for Jordan Love. Deshaun Watson votes for Jordan Love. Drake May votes for Patrick Mahomes. Geno Smith votes for Michael Penix Jr. J.J. McCarthy votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jared Goff votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Love votes for Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert votes for Jordan Love. Mason Rudolph votes for Patrick Mahomes. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Jordan Love. And Patrick Mahomes votes for Jordan Love. And the next quarterback disqualified is Jordan Love. Jordan Love is fatally electrocuted. And Jordan Love is from the Green Bay Packers. So no Green Bay Packers on my Discord. Next up, Anthony Richardson votes for Patrick Mahomes. Baker Mayfield votes for Michael Penix Jr. Bryce Young votes for Patrick Mahomes. CJ Stroud votes for Patrick Mahomes. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Drake May votes for Patrick Mahomes. Geno Smith votes for Patrick Mahomes. J.J. McCarthy votes for Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff votes for Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert votes for Michael Penix Jr. Mason Rudolph votes for Patrick Mahomes. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes votes for Michael Penix Jr. And the next quarterback disqualified is Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is fatally electrocuted. Patrick Mahomes is from the Kansas City Chiefs. So no Kansas City Chiefs in my Discord. Anthony Richardson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Baker Mayfield votes for Mason Rudolph. Bryce Young votes for Mason Rudolph. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Drake May votes for Mason Rudolph. Geno Smith votes for Mason Rudolph. J.J. McCarthy votes for Mason Rudolph. Jared Goff votes for Mason Rudolph. Justin Herbert votes for Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph votes for Michael Penix Jr. And Michael Penix Jr. votes for Mason Rudolph. And the next quarterback voted out is Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph is fatally electrocuted. Mason Rudolph is from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So no Pittsburgh Steelers in my Discord. Next up, Anthony Richardson votes for Justin Herbert. Baker Mayfield votes for Justin Herbert. Bryce Young votes for Justin Herbert. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Justin Herbert. Drake May votes for Justin Herbert. Geno Smith votes for Justin Herbert. J.J. McCarthy votes for Justin Herbert. Jared Goff votes for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert votes for Michael Penix Jr., and Michael Penix Jr. votes for Justin Herbert. And the very next quarterback getting disqualified is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is fatally electrocuted. And Justin Herbert is from the Los Angeles Chargers. So no Los Angeles Chargers in my Discord. Next up, Anthony Richardson votes for Derek Carr. Baker Mayfield votes for Derek Carr. Bryce Young votes for Michael Penix Jr. CJ Stroud votes for Derek Carr. Derek Carr votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Drake May votes for Michael Penix Jr. Geno Smith votes for Derek Carr. J.J. McCarthy votes for Michael Penix Jr. Jared Goff votes for Derek Carr. And Michael Penix Jr. votes for Derek Carr. And the next quarterback eliminated is Derek Carr. Derek Carr is fatally electrocuted. And Derek Carr is from... he is from the New Orleans Saints. So no New Orleans Saints in my Discord. So let's see who the view remaining survivors is. Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Deshaun Watson, Drake May, Geno Smith, J.J. McCarthy, Jared Goff, and Michael Penix Jr. Oh no. Anthony Richardson votes for Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield votes for Jared Goff. Bryce Young votes for Michael Penix Jr. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Drake May votes for Michael Penix Jr. Geno Smith votes for Jared Goff. J.J. McCarthy votes for Jared Goff. Jared Goff votes for Michael Penix Jr. And Michael Penix Jr. votes for Jared Goff. And the next one eliminated for quarterbacks is... oh no! A light shines over Jared Goff and Michael Penix Jr. There is a revote. Anthony Richardson votes for Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield votes for Jared Goff. Bryce Young votes for Michael Penix Jr. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Jared Goff. Drake May votes for Michael Penix Jr. Geno Smith votes for Jared Goff. J.J. McCarthy votes for Jared Goff. Jared Goff votes for Michael Penix Jr. And Michael Penix Jr. votes for Jared Goff. No! Jared Goff is fatally electrocuted. Well, he did better than Jaden Daniels. He is from the Detroit Lions. So no Detroit Lions on my Discord. Aw, man. Anthony Richardson votes for Deshaun Watson. Baker Mayfield votes for Deshaun Watson. Bryce Young votes for Baker Mayfield. CJ Stroud votes for Michael Penix Jr. Deshaun Watson votes for Michael Penix Jr. Drake May votes for Anthony Richardson. Geno Smith votes for Anthony Richardson. J.J. McCarthy votes for Baker Mayfield. Michael Penix Jr. votes for Baker Mayfield. The next quarterback eliminated is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is fatally electrocuted. And Baker Mayfield is from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So no Tampa Bay Buccaneers in my Discord. Anthony Richardson and Deshaun Watson step out of their circles as a sacrifice. So Anthony Richardson is from the Indianapolis Colts, and Deshaun Watson is from the Cleveland Browns. So no Indianapolis Colts or no Cleveland Browns on my Discord. So Anthony Richardson and Deshaun Watson are fatally electrocuted. Geno Smith and Michael Penix Jr. also step out of their circles as a sacrifice. Geno Smith is from the Las Vegas Raiders. And Michael Penix Jr. is from the Atlanta Falcons. So no Atlanta Falcons or no Las Vegas Raiders on my Discord. So that means Geno Smith and Michael Penix Jr. are fatally electrocuted. So the remaining survivors are Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Drake May, or JJ McCarthy. Bryce Young votes for CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud votes for Bryce Young. Drake May votes for Bryce Young. And JJ McCarthy votes for Bryce Young. And Bryce Young is fatally electrocuted. Bryce Young is from the Carolina Panthers. So no Carolina Panthers in my Discord. So CJ Stroud votes for JJ McCarthy. Drake May votes for CJ Stroud. And JJ McCarthy votes for Drake May. So a light shines over CJ Stroud, Drake May, and JJ McCarthy. There's a revote. So CJ Stroud votes for JJ McCarthy. Drake May votes for JJ McCarthy. And JJ McCarthy votes for Drake May. So JJ McCarthy is fatally electrocuted. And JJ McCarthy is from the Minnesota Vikings. So no Minnesota Vikings on my Discord. So CJ Stroud votes for Drake May. Drake May votes for CJ Stroud. A light shines over CJ Stroud and Drake May. There is a revote. CJ Stroud votes for Drake May, and Drake May votes for CJ Stroud. Drake May and CJ Stroud are fatally electrocuted. So because there's two, they both got electrocuted. So CJ Stroud is from the Texans, and Drake May is from the New England Patriots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a spin the wheel to see who wins. So it's either CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud from the Houston Texans, or Drake May from the New England Patriots. And the winner is going to be Drake May from the New England Patriots. So that means CJ Stroud loses. No Houston Texans on my Discord. And I am going to be a New England Patriots lover for the day. Alright, I can take that. I'm fine with that. So yeah, I'll go with it. So that means Drake May is first place, CJ Stroud will be second, JJ McCarthy's third, Bryce Young's fourth, Michael Penix Jr.'s fifth, Geno Smith is sixth, Deshaun Watson 7, Anthony Richardson 8, Baker Mayfield 9, Jared Goff is 10. At least he got the top 10. Derek Carr's 11, Justin Herbert's 12, Mason Rudolph's 13, Patrick Mahomes is 14, Jordan Love is 15, Justin Fields 16, Jalen Hurts 17, Will Levis 18, Lamar Jackson 19, Trevor Lawrence 20, Matthew Stafford 21, Kyler Murray 22, Jaden Daniels 23, Dak Prescott 24, Tago Vailoa Tua 25, Russell Wilson 26, Joe Burrow 27, Bo Nix 28, Sam Darnold 29, Brock Purdy 30, Josh Allen 31, and dead last Caleb Williams, which makes sense. Chicago Bears. So that means for a day for today, I am going to be a New England Patriots lover. So let's go to Discord, and we are going to go to settings, and I'm going to edit user profile. I'm going to be called for the day New England Patriots lover. Save changes. And now I have to find a New England Patriots. Cool. New England Patriots profile picture. And we are going to use this. This is cool. I'm going to save image as and save. We're going to go back to Discord. Go to here. Change my profile picture. Change avatar. Gotta find it. Downloads. There it is. Open. And apply. Save changes. Alright. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. It's been fun. Yeah. Again, it's Fusion Gaming 2, and I'm signing off for now. Bye.